book. But I suppose I could do some research later. There might be some similarities. But for the public safety dispatcher exam, there is reading comprehension exam questions that are, like they just tell you just basic stuff, I suppose. Not anything serious. Another chapter would be on making sure that some things are spelled correctly. And the other chapter is about identifying the correct words. So I've noticed something. When I look through this book, right, the details must be matched correctly, right? What's not the case is what is not the case is what I call the brain that the part of the brain I believe is the right brain that is used for writing things with your left hand. What means is that there is nothing on facial recognition. There's nothing in this book that has examples of faces. Now, this reminds me of the one of the Socionics questions on the internet, which is another variant of Myers-Briggs that has actually a set of questions on faces. There is nothing on faces in this workbook. So there's no pictures of any faces, right? What does that mean? There's nothing here that requires someone to draw anything. What does that mean? It means, I'll probably have to forget the police officer exam, but it turns out that in order to get a police officer license, there are certain things you have to, certain thought processes that are normal for many other professions that cannot be used in order to be a police officer. Which means one cannot, drawing skills, that are very useful for things like getting married, finding the right place to live, and moving to another country. And now, of course, standing for yourself, like bullying and stuff like that, right? Like, the reasons that those skills that are practical for, street smarts, I call it, are not required to become a police officer, to get that police officer exam in the modern times. That might not be the case in earlier parts of history, but I'm not a historian, so I am not going to mention anything from earlier parts of Earth's world history. What does that mean? It means that some people will make assumptions very much like self-diagnosing someone. I've seen this on the internet. Some people will try to self-diagnose someone when they don't have a medical degree. They have no ability to practice psychiatry. But they will self-diagnose people anyway. Why do they do this? I don't know. I mean, I suppose it's like not a bad hobby or anything, but it's very common, isn't it? And I'm like, I can do more research on this because a lot of people, they don't want to learn about the truth. They, if the truth hits them, at all, if any idea of it hits them at all, they might end up dying from an infectious virus. And we've seen this with the coronavirus, right?